what happened? Right now it is Sunday after Charlie's Angels came out, the 17th, 2019. I saw the new Charlie's Angels yesterday at the 1 o'clock showing. And I kind of got scared with the first few minutes. Then I saw how much money it made on Friday, and I'm like, oh God. Well, then I get home from my movie, and I'm eating supper. I look at my ticket. I was number 7 sold. I was the 7th ticket sold for the whole time it has been there for Charlie's Angels. Now, this theater that I go to is the only theater in my hometown. This film, I had high hopes. I had sky-high hopes because I've loved the trailers. I thought the trailers looked really fun and entertaining. Well, the reason why they looked fun and entertaining is because they cut it together in a way to make it look like a decent little film. When in actuality, this film is, well, you're going to get my thoughts on it right now. Ella Balinska, Naomi Scott, and Kristen Stewart, along with Elizabeth Banks, who wrote and directed this film, also co-starring Patrick Stewart, starring Charlie's Angels 2019, about a young systems engineer who blows the whistle. That has to do with this very dangerous technology, and it could destroy the world, and it could be bad for us all. Now the Angels have to go in there, put their lives on the line to save us. This film is not good. This film is one of my biggest disappointments of 2019. I was really looking forward to this one. I love Naomi Scott. Now, before I get into the multiple, and I'm sorry if you hear that sound, that's my doggy getting a drink. Before I get into my negatives about this film has a good performance from Naomi Scott. She has quite a bit to do, and that's the biggest praise I can give it. It's that Naomi Scott and Kristen Stewart, along with Ella Balinska, were decent in the film. But Naomi Scott is the best actress out of all of them. Kristen Stewart is no longer the Bella. She's no longer Bella from Twilight. She's done good stuff since Twilight, from what I've heard. I don't think I've seen any of it, because it's been like smaller work. But this film really disappointed me quite a bit. This movie was one of those films where I was like, this could easily hit $300 million. It only made $8.6 million worldwide on a $48 million budget. So to me, it needs to make $150 million to break even. Because once you take away a third, well, maybe not $150 million, let's say $125 million would have sufficed. Maybe. But this film is a monumental bomb. Everything is wrong about this film. The action scenes are boring. The jokes fall flat constantly. And what they did with the trailer, and yes, I know that this is not what happens with all the trailers, but with some trailers, they do this and it pisses me off. They use a shot towards the very end that's not even in the movie. They use 2 scenes for the trailer that are during the post-credit scenes. And those were the best scenes, were the post-credit scenes. You get a nice little cameo appearance from Haley Steinfeld in the planes, in the plane sequence. Then you got Ronda Rousey doing a little cameo, teaching Naomi Scott how to be a fighting angel, how to do martial arts. Now, Naomi Scott is not an angel in this film. I don't want to go into spoilers, but I might have to. The action scenes are so poorly shot that you can tell that there are stunt people doing it. And that's not supposed to happen. You are literally supposed to be watching and you are not supposed to notice. The action scenes are supposed to be well shot, well edited, well cut. There's so many quick cuts in the freaking action scenes that I cannot comprehend how you thought that this was a good idea to do this editing style. You can't even tell what's happening most of the time. 95% of the action scenes are so ugly and so poor that it makes it boring. The comedy in this film, it's mostly quippy one-liners that aren't funny. It's jokes that somebody, and there was this one lady in my theater. I'll get to her in a minute. This movie didn't entice anybody besides me, and I was stupid for that. I had high hopes, and from now on, I'm going to go in with zero expectations and expect nothing from the film. Expect nothing. Everything about this film was so poor. I can't tell you how many times, and no, I hardly ever do this. This film made me pull out my phone and check the time so many times because I was so freaking bored with it. I just scared my dog crapless. I was so bored with it that I checked my phone multiple times just to check the time. And I don't mean that I took my phone out and I'm like shining it everywhere, shining the light, shine. No, I literally just lifted up my jean pocket, tapped it twice, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, there you go. There's nothing about this film that's really good. I liked two things about it. And that's I can name three things I liked about it. I liked the 2 cameos, and I liked the post-credit scenes. So there's 2. I liked Naomi Scott and Kristen Stewart's performances. Otherwise than that, that's pretty much it. This film bored me to tears. And if anybody found this funny, I don't understand how you found it funny. The good jokes were in the trailer. And once you go to so many movies, or when you're watching TV, there's no possible way that you haven't seen this trailer. You've seen the joke. It should not be funny. But this whole film, there's one lady behind me. Sounded like a chicken getting choked. She acted like this was the most hilarious thing she's ever seen in her life. She brought 2 10-year-olds in there who have no idea who Charlie's Angels are. She did that the whole time, just and I was about to look behind me and ask, ma'am, are you doing okay? Is there some type of issue that's going on with you? Because I'm glad that you were enjoying the movie. But when you laugh that much at literally every single thing, they pick up a Altoid mint can. Kristen Stewart smacks her butt with that little staff when they're at the horse races. All the Bosnies are around. And no, she was not special needs. She was not special needs. She was fine, but she was having the time of her life, and it just got annoying. There were probably 10 people in my theater, and 2 people bought tickets before me. So that means that they only sold 4 tickets for 3 showings. 4 tickets for 3 showings. Friday. Now, when I go in there the next time, I'm gonna ask, how did Charlie's Angels do this whole week? Because they're getting Frozen 2 in, and Frozen 2 is supposed to be monumental. This film is going to flop. This film is going to please people who really do like the 2000s one, or the 2000s, both 2000 and 2003 movie, with Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, and Drew Barrymore. You're going to like this, I'm sure. Patrick Stewart is in this film. Patrick Stewart has charm. Patrick Stewart can make any role he's in just really good. He's really good in this film. But what they have him do, there's so many twists and turns, and it's so predictable. You can't literally tell me that this is surprising if you've seen as many movies as film critics do. Because if you look at my reviews just for this year alone, there's about 400 and something. Just for this year alone. And yes, that's very low for some critics. But this film is going to be on the bottom of my list. This film made me angry. I was bored. I was so mad while watching this film. I do have to say this. Kristen Stewart looked amazingly hot in the first scene. Naomi Scott. She's way better in Aladdin. And Aladdin is my favorite film of the year. I had high hopes for this film because of her performance in Aladdin, and because I love Naomi Scott. Kristen Stewart, I thought she looked really good in the trailer. And Ella Balinska, oh my gosh, she is amazing in this film. For her first major film role, she was in in some BBC murder mystery show. She's really good in this, and I hope that she gets better roles in this. I hope that she gets more and more roles, and she becomes a big $1 million megastar. Who knows? Maybe she could be the next Meryl Streep. But, well, no. That's Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan is the next Meryl Streep. Let's be real clear about that. She can be the next, Julia Roberts. Become America's sweetheart. She has that look about her. She's beautiful. She can act. She could literally play a Disney princess if she frickin' wanted to. Hell, Naomi Scott did. Cast her in... Oh, I don't know. If you want to do one for Moana or something, just cast her in there. Somebody get your hands on Ella Balinska. Make her a big star, because Elizabeth Banks didn't know what to do with her. Her direction in this is not very good. Now, I'm not going to say she's not a bad director. I liked her work in Pitch Perfect 2. I did. I liked it very much. Because I love Pitch Perfect. I was a choir person. I was in choir. Those movies were pretty much meant for me. This film was supposed to be geared towards people who were looking for a fun time in the theater. This film had poor pacing, badly cut action scenes, very obvious stunt doubles, some decent performances, but all around just a frickin' bore fest for 2 hours. The only good things about it were Patrick Stewart, the 3 angels, and the 2 post-credit scenes, with Haley Steinfeld as one of the angels in training, jumping out of the plane, and Ronda Rousey teaching Naomi Scott how to do some judo martial arts. Otherwise than that, this film is completely bad. And this is not because it was so poorly attended in my theater. That's not saying much for my theater, and I can actually prove it to you, because I keep most of my ticket stubs here. Charlie's Angels, as you saw, I was number 7 for. Joker, I was the first ticket sold, but that was for on premiere night, so I am going to give him a little bit of leeway. My theater does not how to do They don't know how to do business. They brought in 47 Meters Down 2 or 3 weeks after it already came out. I went to a Saturday screening the weekend they got it at 1:30. 7 people. And it's even marked wrong. It says it's a PG movie. It says it's a PG film. Yeah, sure. Literally, all of these tickets. Lion King, It Chapter 2. Hell, Arctic Dogs had more ticket sales than Charlie's Angels. Arctic Dogs, I was number 16 sold. 16 sold. And they had the same amount of showings. And I can tell you how much my theater had zero faith in this film. They put it in the smaller theater. The biggest movie that came out, or the biggest film that you have right now, is Charlie's Angels. And you put it in the small theater, but yet you put Last Christmas in the big theater when it didn't do well last week. I have not seen Last Christmas yet. I'm probably going to go and see that, might see that. This film pissed me off to no end. This film was just garbage. This is not the worst film of the year. This is my biggest disappointment of the year. I give Charlie's Angels 2019 a D-. Now, I have a lot of reviews coming to you guys. I have reviews for Pickaxe coming up from Wild Eye Releasing, and Wild Eye Releasing will be sending me a package, so you will be getting some horror releases. You'll be getting a review of the original Frozen, which I've seen many times, and I like it quite a bit. You'll be getting a review for Frozen 2. Just tons of other stuff. Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Just lots of other stuff that I'm hoping is going to be way better than this. Elizabeth, Kristen, Ella, Naomi, Patrick, Haley, Rhonda, I love you. Just do some better work.